Different sort of video for me today. Usually I'm out walking around the desert looking for petroglyphs, but today I want to talk a little bit about how I use Google Lens as a tool to learn more about petroglyphs. So why am I interested in this? Well, here's a picture I took about a month ago. That's a pretty cool petroglyph, and I found it in a pretty obscure canyon. So I wondered, just how obscure is this piece of rock art? Does the internet know about it? Has anyone ever posted a picture of it before? What about this one? Now, this isn't a picture I took. It's a screen grab from a YouTube video. The presenter had traveled through some pretty rough country, fairly long walk, and he came across this beautiful petroglyph near the end. And I thought, man, that is quite a find. Could the internet tell me anything about this petroglyph?
I want to say a few things about image search. If you're familiar with Google Lens, you probably already know most of this stuff. The basic idea is that you submit a picture or image, and the search engine tries to find existing pictures of the same object. It can go beyond that, though, and give you additional information about the object in the picture. For example, it might give location. Now, for petroglyphs, this is a controversial topic I'll talk more about later. Now, I mentioned Google Lens already, but Microsoft also offers a similar version in its image search capability on Bing. And there are some smaller sites that also do it. Now, how do you do image search in practice? Let me show an example of how I do it anyway on a laptop using this picture.
So here's how I do it on my laptop. I select the picture, I copy it, and I send it over to the internet. Using Google, do images, hit that camera button, and then you can just paste it right in there. There's the object in Google. It's actually auto-selected the area it searches. And look at that. There's the same petroglyph right there. It's actually by a friend of mine. So it worked. We find one.
And if you move over and scroll down, you'll see a lot of petroglyphs, which are obviously bad image matches.
Another thing you can do is click on About This Image to get extra information. And you'll see for this rather obscure petroglyph, there isn't any extra information. Basically, the process works. Google image search finds a match to this picture. So that's one way you can do it. And of course, a lot of people access Google Lens through their phones. But I'm sort of an old school computer guy. I like to store my pictures locally, and this is the way I usually access Google Lens. Go to a picture file, right click on it, and select Open With. Then you can select Google Chrome. This puts you in the Google ecosystem. After the picture opens in Chrome, right click on it, and then you can go down and select Search with Google Lens. I think this is equivalent to what I showed last time, but the output format's a little different. Here you can see it starts with an AI overview. That's interesting, but in this case it's wrong, and I found that's the case for a lot of petroglyphs. This petroglyph is in Arizona, not in New Mexico. But if we scroll down to the visual matches, we again can find the previous one. Maybe it was demoted a little bit because of the New Mexico assumption. So that's how I use Google Lens. Now here's how I use Bing image search. I just click open the JPEG. Since my default editor is Windows Photo Program, which is in the Microsoft ecosystem, all I have to do then is right-click the photo and select Visual Search with Bing. Results pop up, and you can see there are a lot of petroglyph pictures you can scroll through. But scroll all the way to the bottom, none match the target. I decided to try again by refining the image search a little bit, focusing in a little bit on the glyph. But again, I still don't find one that matches the target petroglyph. In fact, what I found is that for uncommon petroglyphs like this, Google Lens is quite a bit better than Bing image search, but I'll show some quantitative results later. Let's go back to checking the glyphs we were curious about to begin with. So we right click on it, open with Chrome, right click, search with Google Lens. Well, again, the AI overview location is wrong. This is an Arizona glyph, not a Utah glyph. But we scroll down to look at the pictures. Let's make this side a little bigger. The top selections obviously aren't matching, and as we go down, I found it gets less likely. So it looks like Google Lens is not finding this glyph. Perhaps no big surprise. We can also try with a Bing image search. Visual search with Bing. Individual figures, but Bing also does not find this glyph. Let's check out that YouTube panel and see what the search tells us about it. We'll try Google Lens to begin with. Search with Google Lens. Claim for a particular panel name. But when we look at the pictures, the match is exact. Not only that, many pictures matching the picture that I captured. This is pretty good proof that this is a public petroglyph that people know about. Many pictures of it, and it probably it's described by this information in the AI overview. I can tell you that I searched this before, and this petroglyph is actually signposted from the road, which sort of surprised me. Let's check it out with Bing image search. Bing similarly finds many matches. It's just as good as Google Lens for this. So again, the public petroglyph is easy to find.
At this point, we have some idea how image search is working on obscure petroglyphs and public petroglyphs, but it's worth checking a little closer before moving on. So here I want to test a few more obscure petroglyphs. Remember, these are notable ones found in remote areas, and their pictures may not even be on the internet. These three petroglyphs I saw on the same weekend as the one with the crazy legs that I already showed. Applying image search, we come up empty on the first two, but actually get a match on the third one. That surprised me because it's the most obscure. I know the other two are available to search engines because I posted them last year. And I know that at least the middle one has been posted by other people. I've seen it. Further, the match the Google Lens finds to the third one is unexpected. It finds my picture, the one I posted on a hiking website just 3 days before. I checked again 3 weeks later, and Google Lens no longer finds this match. However, I find if I add a location clue, then it does. And just as a point of interest, it doesn't find a match if I submit a tilted picture of the same petroglyph. Anyway, my conclusion is that image search at this point is not very helpful for finding obscure petroglyphs. Now let's further check public petroglyphs. Remember, those are the ones that are signposted or appear on TripAdvisor, etc. They're sort of well known. Anyone can go see them. It just so happens that my next YouTube screen grab uncovered another public site. Here's the first screen grab I pulled and searched. You can see here that Google Lens found many matches, and information is given about the site. I picked 5 other images from that same YouTube video, and all had many matches to internet posted pictures. So again, I conclude that the initial test was right. Public sites are easy. Image search will find many matches. Now I could stop here, but if you managed to watch this far, you may be a petroglyph nerd, and you might be interested in this last section. What about in-between petroglyphs? Well, what I mean by in-between is ones that are not really obscure, out in the middle of nowhere, very unlikely to run into them, and also ones that are not well known, i.e. not public. So I would describe them as impressive or notable non-public petroglyphs. They're the ones I'm usually out looking for. The locations are kept secret. You won't find directions to them in general. This is done to avoid people messing with them for the most part and to keep them from becoming Instagram targets. Pictures are often posted by people, by serious petroglyph people, and general areas may be disclosed. For example, a particular national park or a forest or an area, but GPS coordinates aren't. That's considered bad form. The question I have for these, which I think are the most common ones for me to be interested in, how are Google Lens and Bing image search at finding these? So how did I do the comparison? Well, I selected a bunch of pictures. I think there's 22 of them, of Arizona petroglyphs that I had taken that I thought fall into this category. And I wanted to see how Google Lens and Bing image search do. Here's the first 4 of them. They're nice petroglyphs. They're known to many people, but certainly they're less well known than the public ones that I talked about already. I call these semi-famous or notable. The results of the image search are superimposed here. Just giving you the results. Green means it matched. Red means it didn't. In one case, there's a yellow on here, which means it matched, but it was a ways down the list, not near the top. You can see Google Lens is doing better than Bing image search here. Incidentally, the one at lower right, which did not find a good match, even though that's a pretty well-known petroglyph in the Phoenix area, if I rotated it, then Google Lens did find it a little way down the list. Here's the next 6. Again, 6 impressive Arizona petroglyphs that are, not really too obscure. A lot of people have seen them. Google Lens is all green here. Bing image search only found 1 of them. Here's the next 6. Again, mainly green for Google Lens. Bing image search didn't find any of them. Google Lens missed 1 of them. And finally, the last 4 here. Google Lens is the only one that found just 1 of these. The one at lower right's a little bit interesting. I stepped back just a little bit so you could see the shape of the rock. Google Lens then did find that one. Conclusion, 22 test cases, Google Lens found 16.5 of them, and Bing image search only found 2.5. Clearly, Google Lens is the winner. But I should also point out that all of these are on the internet. I mean, I posted them all, and other people have posted quite a few of them. So Google Lens is good, but it's not perfect. And as we already saw from the earlier slides I showed, for really obscure petroglyphs, image search is not yet capable. Just because image search cannot find a picture doesn't mean it's not on the internet. And for public petroglyphs, where there are many images that have been posted by people, the image search engines work very well indeed.
Okay, a last word for now. No way am I an expert on search. If anyone ever watches this, I assume I'll get some helpful comments. To me, these image search tools are miracles. They can do amazing things instantly and for free. I have no idea how the complex algorithms work. They do seem to weight some websites over others, and they must know that many image matches are poor and that they're not finding good or perfect ones. I assume that's because of the finite time and resources that are allocated to each search. If I'd bet $1, they keep getting better with time.